Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the latest generation for the BMW M3 Competition. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Charlotte for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This M3 is finished off in an individual color. This is Laguna Seca Blue. MSRP is just over $104,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6 paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 523 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this nearly 4,000-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in BMW's claimed at 3.4 seconds, but we have seen times under 3 seconds. It has a top speed of 180 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons, and you'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.5 inches. Its overall length is 189.1. It has a width of 74.3, a height of 56.6, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.6 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this model here has a lot of gloss black for the outside trim accents. You'll notice it's on the entire kidney grille where there's plenty of cutouts. There's a forward-facing camera, the sensor for distance pacing, and then parking sensors too. Now this also has dark inner housing for all of the LEDs just to blend in much nicer, and you'll notice more gloss black accents for the lower bumper edges there. And then some very nice lines that go off the top of that grille integrated into the hood there just to blend it in and make it look really nice. And then there's also some additional inlets on the corners of those bumpers there to help with better airflow and aerodynamics. Now this also has a really nice set of gloss black wheels, and this model has the black M Sport brakes. There's more gloss black for the M3 Comp badge along with the lower side skirt, and then it's also on the power folding side mirrors. They feature a camera and a turn signal, and then the rest of that trim works its way around the windows there. And this has the carbon fiber roof with really nice fins going down the top there. And as we take a step back, really subtle lines running down the side, not quite as aggressive as up front, but the rear end here just gives a nice sleek design. Now there's more gloss black for the trunk mounted spoiler. There's LEDs for all of the lighting, backup camera, all of the parking sensors, and then more gloss black for the bumper. Now this also has the quad tip dual exhaust, which you can also remote start if you would like to. And then you can also use the button on the key fob or the control underneath to gain access to the trunk, where this does have the power operating trunk lid. Now for this sedan, there's a good bit of space. You have some storage bins on both sides. There's no storage underneath the floor, but you do have the option of folding down the back seats. So that way you can get a lot more interior space. And there's also some tie downs too. So that way you can secure any items in the back. Now you do have 2 controls up top. You can just close the trunk like I did, or you can lock the vehicle as well. Now, if you do lock the vehicle, you do have proximity door handles, so it doesn't matter which door handle you grab. And paired with the Laguna Seca Blue, this has the Kyalami orange interior, which I think is really nice. There's all the brushed accents, interior lighting, Harman Kardon for the audio, and then you have a good bit of storage down below. And then with that orange, there's also some black leather and some Alcantara on the headrest there to give it a nice two-tone look. And at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. Now you do get vents, temperature adjustments, and some auxiliaries down below. And then at my height, I have maybe a ½ inch or so of headroom. For this smaller size 3 Series from BMW, it's really not all that bad. I could go on a short road trip. I could be comfortable sitting in the back. Now with the M3, you don't have anything in the middle here. You can fold this middle seat down, maybe if you want to use that as an armrest or a cut through, but you don't have that traditional armrest or cup holders that pop out. But it's good because you have pretty large ones in the door panel itself. Now up front, this gets memory seating adjustments, all of your window controls, side mirror adjustments, trunk release, and then more storage down below. And then this model is spec'd with the carbon fiber bucket seats with that 2-tone design to them. They are power adjusting, so all of those controls are down on the side. And now as we hop in, you'll notice that we have the flat bottom design for the steering wheel with the red stripe up top. A lot more carbon fiber accents, which is nice to see. But let's start this up and take a listen to how it sounds. And coming back to the gauge cluster now, you'll see on the left side there's fuel and miles per hour. To the right is tach and engine temperature. Now you can also go through some more of that information using this button on the right of the steering wheel. There's volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands, even some ambient lighting strips on the top. So by pushing on that button, now we can scroll through all of this content, where you do have daily driving information as well as some performance information too, just depending on what you would like to see. So you can quickly go through all of this as needed. And then you can also get into the head-up display. So you have a few different settings there to view that information as well. Now there's also M1 and M2, so you can set up this vehicle to your liking, and then all of the cruise control settings are on the left. And then the massive paddle shifters finish off in carbon fiber. Now there's also storage on the left. You have all of your headlight adjustments with one air vent above that, leather for the dash, and then with the infotainment system, the shortcuts are all in the lower section, and you can also use the shortcuts down below, so you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. Now this model has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can get into all of your climate adjustments, navigation, your music settings. You have quite a lot that you can get into and activate. For the home screen, you have all these widgets here, and you can customize them and add and take away depending on what you would like to see. You have shortcuts into your climates along with navigation and music, and then these carbon seats are also heated, and you have the heated steering wheel and temperature adjustments for your driver and passenger. Now you'll notice more carbon fiber. There's also ambient lighting in this location here. You have vents underneath that. There's volume tuning and defrosters, and then at the lower section there's wireless charging, cup holders, and auxiliaries. Now you can also hide that away with this carbon fiber lid. And then in order to put this into reverse, simply push the shifter to the left and forwards, and you can bring up all of these settings, including automatic parking and backup assistance. So you have no shortage of visibility around this entire vehicle. Very nice to see. And you can also pull up the forward-facing camera in full screen. Now there's also drive and sport mode, so you can shift using the shifter, and then park and the ability to adjust the transmission are located on the back. Now there's also traction control, parking sensors, engine start stop. And then when you go into M mode, you can go between road and sport. So sport is going to change both the gauge cluster and the head-up display, and you can still go through information located on this left side. So it is going to be minimized. If you would like to see more track performance information, you can pull up some of that on the left side too, and you can do that with the head-up display, so you can see the full tach as well. Now behind that, there's setup. So this is how you can get into M1 and M2 and set them up between efficiency and Sport Plus. So you can have those shortcuts ready to go. Now there's also an exhaust note, auto hold, and the e-brake. You get an auxiliary with storage and the armrest, the locking glove box with plenty of space, and then there's garage door buttons up top along with dome lights too. And then here's a look at visibility. You have pretty thin pillars back there. So for this 3 Series, you can easily see over both shoulders. So as we set up behind the wheel now for the M3, let's first talk about possible rumors with the next generation M3 coming very soon. From what I have seen, which is all just speculation so far, the next M3 might have a fully electric version. Now it also looks like the gas version will still be retained, which I don't see how BMW could go away from this gas version. This is a vehicle that is so much fun to drive, very popular. Every time they come in, they seem to be sold, pre-sold, or they just touch the dealership lot and they're already gone, because these are hard cars to find even on the used market. They pop up every now and then, of course, and with it being out for a few years now, at least with this generation, you can find them. They don't sit long if you can find a good used one, and then obviously new too. So with the next model year, I think 2027 is going to be the next generation for the M3. We might see an electrified version, which is kind of interesting to see since BMW already has some other electric sedans that do have a good bit of power to them. But now we're going to have, I guess, more of a very sporty, high-performing, full EV BMW sedan. I'm not sure what it's going to be called, if it is something that is coming. So definitely interesting to see BMW go the electrified route. They have a lot of EVs already, and I'm not a huge fan of them. I think this is the way to go in an M3, especially since you can also get the manual transmission if you would like, and you just have a lot of performance with this model. Now, we have been able to take these to the mountains, so you can check out that video for a lot more performance driving than what I'm doing today. Just the raw feeling that you get from this vehicle, but also being able to set it up for a daily driver is just a really nice combination for this car. So this can be your family sedan. You can have car seats in the back, your kids, your family with you, and then when you're ready to, you can take this to the tracks, the mountain roads, and just have an absolute blast. So if BMW decides to bring an EV to the M3, I mean, they have to keep this vehicle as well with the combustible engine, because I don't know how many people will go the EV route when you just can't get this type of drama and characteristic from an EV. They're quick in a straight line, but to me, that's about it. It's probably going to weigh more than the new M5, which is 5,300 pounds. So you start getting into an EV sedan, it's really only quick in a straight line. Then you need to upgrade the brakes, and it's not a performance vehicle like this M3. When you compare this M3 to the new M5, which is a plug-in hybrid, this weighs 1,500 pounds less, somewhere around there, 1,000 pounds less, and you have a lot more nimble of a vehicle for those handling characteristics. And from second gear, here we go. Just a mild acceleration there, but this is a phenomenal transmission for the M3, especially with the adjustments that you can make for both with the paddles and just by putting it into the normal setting as well. As you hopefully just heard, the shifts become more crisp and quicker when you have them in the highest setting. And even in the normal automatic mode, it is going to shift and even hold the gears a little bit more than it does in setting 1. So depending on if you are doing some performance driving or you're in stop and go traffic, you can adjust the transmission to be more smooth or more responsive depending on how you are driving for the day. So I think the characteristics with this, by far one of the best sedans that you can get in terms of the performance and what you have with this model. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the BMW M3. Like I was talking about earlier with the next generation, I'm not sure what inside technology we are going to see. There might be some updates to the screen. Maybe we'll see a completely different style screen, maybe a whole different interior. I'm not sure. So I'm very excited to see the next generation for the M3. Personally, I would probably go with this generation unless something really catches my eye with the latest generation. I don't think you can go wrong with this generation along with all the options that you have. These start in the mid $70,000 range for the base model, which comes with the manual transmission, and then you can actually spec it more than this model if you get a lot more of the exterior carbon fiber accents and things like that. So I think we have a really nice spec right here for just over 6 figures, but you have so many different options to go with. Truly is one of the best driving sedans that I get to review and check out. So again, take a look at the mountain drive that we did in an M3 to really see the performance characteristics that this sedan has to offer. And honestly, the carbon fiber bucket seats, one of my favorite too. You may have to be a little bit more slim body style like myself. I fit so comfortably in these. It is a great option to go with. But definitely a fun vehicle. Let's see if the next M3 is going to be electrified or not. Hopefully that comes out soon so we can at least see what that vehicle is like, what it'll look like, and what options it will have. But for now, the M3 Competition, such an amazing family style, performance oriented sedan. And that is going to wrap it up for today's review. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Charlotte for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.